Ayubowan. We start the English program at 6 o'clock. And if you want to ask any questions, today the title is How Does a Buddhist Gain the Protection and Blessing from Devas, Higher Celestial Beings? That is the title today. If you want to ask any questions, we start the Dhamma talk in English at 6 o'clock. At 6:45 onwards, we can have a very good Dhamma discussion. So prepare your questions and be ready to ask any questions from this panel of very educated, experienced Buddhist monks.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa.
Thank you so much, Venerable monks. I'm Vinita Vitanachi from Tampa, Florida. This question is not related to what we heard the sermon you delivered today, but it's about Chutti Sita. So, I was listening to sermon. A couple of days ago, and then I had this question. So let me pose it this way. So as a Buddhist, you are supposed to conduct good deeds and maintain good thoughts to cultivate kusal, as opposed to akusal, correct? But according to Buddhism, the quality of your next birth is that you will develop at that very moment at which you take your last breath. So if this is the case, a person who has accumulated a lot of akusal, bad things, can still have a good and blessed next life if at that very last moment, if he or she develops a positive chutti-sit. Whereas a person who has been living a life as a good Buddhist and who has been cultivating kusal can have an unfortunate next birth if he develops a bad thought at that very moment where he or she will be leaving this life, the present life. So do you see a bit of an unreasonableness in that? And if I can hear your explanation, this is a thought that came to me when I was listening to a sermon which I also shared with Ajit Taya a couple of days ago. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have been.
Thank you, Mr. Nangi. Our Dr. Sumansiri Amduru is going to address that question, I believe.
The Chutti-sit point shouldn't be a problem of making an assessment. Don't forget, you have achinna kamma, which means what you have been doing more in your lifetime. It doesn't mean the achinna kamma is of no use and only the chutti-citta. This is a theory which has been developed by later tradition, and it is not in the sutras as such that the chutti-citta is the one that determines your next birth. This explanation is being given by the later commentaries when they try to divide the mind, the body, and how the linking is given. The Buddha was quiet on that point because he did not want to entertain the idea of there is something like an entity that goes to next birth as such. What goes, we really don't know from our experiences, but everybody wants to know the technical way of trying to understand this. So this has been in a big debate, not only in Buddhism, in all other religions that believe in rebirth as well. What transmigrates to the next point. But you cannot nullify the value of all the good deeds you have done in your life just because of one explanation like that. And the mystery of life and how it reacts and how it takes you to the next depends on the assessment of your own self. And without your intervention, how the mystery of karma works, to explain that which is not to be seen and technically understood, to give in a technical way, is a point of something that based on the existing suttas, we cannot verify. You have to leave it to the karma that you have to do. To find a simple way, certain commentators have given this kind of an opinion. It's just an opinion. But in the Buddha's way of explanation, it's not like that. He has not given a physical kind of technical answer to this problem.
Thank you, Hamdrone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vinitanangi, for asking that question. Perhaps we may continue this topic at a later stage, probably in more detail. Thank you very much. Karma decides one's next life through the last thought. Instinctively belongs to one's next life. Karma decides one's next life, though the last thought instinctively belongs to one's next life. If you can unmute and put the question, that will be very good. Thank you very much for that contribution, Shelby.
Good evening, everyone. Namo Buddhaya to all. Welcome to our Sunday evening special program called Daham Sisila program. Today we host the 24th Daham Sisila program. Normally we have a sponsors for this valuable Dhamma Dana, sharing of the teachings of the Buddha is the highest giving. But this week we do not have sponsors. If anyone wants to sponsor this program, they can certainly earn the highest and the rare merits and the blessings. Especially during this time of social distancing, the temples has to maintain very minimum support. So this will goes into good cause if you can undertake the support to sponsor these programs. If you wish to sponsor one of these programs, this will continue on Sunday evenings. You can contact us. I would like to dedicate these blessings to all our community, also to the whole universe. Still we are finding very challenging with this recent outbreak of the virus and the situation in the world. I think this topic today, the title today, has a lot of meaning and relevance to the current situation as well. The title today is How Does a Buddhist Gain the Protection and Blessings from Gods or Devas? In simple, how we can get the help from higher deities or celestial beings, gods. This question needs to be addressed in three ways. First, who are Devas, gods, deities, and what is the place in Buddhism for that concept? Second, the nature of the existence of Devas or deities, celestial beings, and how their life look like. Has anyone seen them? Third, what are the real ways? What should we really need to do to communicate with them and seek the right connection and support from them? First, let me put some insight to understand the concept called Devas, the deities, and how does it place in Buddhist teachings? When we talk about the spirituality, religion, there are three main streams of spirituality. One is called theistic religions. The other one is called atheistic religions. The last is called agnostic. There are a group of religions based on divine being. That's called God-centered religions. The other religions are called man-centered, human-centered. The third one is based on knowledge, wisdom, philosophy. They don't have this conceptual understanding, but intellectual based. The religion has theistic understanding, which is they believe a God, which means not in the Buddhist concept. Buddhism doesn't have the concept the God, which means omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, sarvajna, sarva baladhari. So there is no the God in Buddhist teachings. Yet there are a lot of explanation about gods. In the God concept, the religions believe that everything comes from that omnipotent, omniscient, supreme power. Whereas the Buddhist teachings believes cause and effect theory. Things comes due to cause and effect. In that sense, Buddhism doesn't believe the God that you can seek in refuge and ask for help and guidance. However, Buddhists believe that there are higher deities, supreme beings, sublime beings that we can relate and ask, communicate and get some support. The third group, which they don't really concentrate on this divinity aspect, they believe only the knowledge. Today, what we try to explain, the concept of gods, not the God. What Buddhism talks about, when we think of Lord Buddha, he has 9 qualities. In that 9 qualities, there is a one quality called Satta Deva Manussana. He is a teacher not only to human beings, but also to divines. So there is a concept that the God can't do good things. I don't think here Buddha would not teach the Dhamma if they can't understand and change themselves. Of course, there is a particular part of gods that they don't require any merits. Because to some realms, if they want to enter into those divine abodes, they either need to be anagami, non-returners. Those who are non-returners, once they passed away, they go and reborn in there, and they passed away as arahant, enlightened beings. I will come little later into those things, but there is a reference at the qualities, or there are 9 qualities of the Buddha, and it explains about Satta Deva Manussana. Buddha is a teacher. It starts from Deva. Deva means not to the divine beings, the gods. And also in the Mettanisansa Sutta, the discourse on the benefits of loving kindness meditation, Buddha explained 11 benefits of practicing loving kindness. In there, Buddha explained that one who practices loving kindness is being protected by divine beings or devas, gods. There we find some reference to understand the Buddhist perspective about devas. And also some discourses called Atanatya Mahasamya that comes in the Book of Protection, Mahapirit Potha. We have some knowledge of different names of the Devas and their capabilities. The discourse delivered by the Lord Buddha, first discourse, we call Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. When he delivered that special Dhamma teaching based on middle path, Four Noble Truth, the divine beings in the realm of great earth rejoiced and said sadhu sadhu. That was heard by different realms of Devas, and they also proclaimed their rejoices. And there it explained the reference to the Devas in the Buddhist teachings. Now let us take few seconds to understand this definition of Deva. There are 5 different ways that we can reflect on this definition. This concept called Deva, the deities, has been imposed into the nature as well. So they refer the word Deva or the deities into the rain, into the sky, into the sun, to the moon, and to things. And they personified those objects as divine beings. The second thing is they given this cleanliness as divinity. In English normally says cleanliness is next to the godliness. Because we have a belief that when we maintain some cleanliness, purity, that attracts the divinity, which is very important thing to understand this etymology, the definition of Devas. And also, this divinity is being imposed to understand what we can't really understand, kind of mystical things. In that also sense, even in the literature, they have developed certain names of divine beings by very spiritual, highly persons, and they believe that form of energy can make a difference in the world and even to the human life. So if I say in brief, the word Devas, divinity being referred to the nature, include the earth, ocean, the rain, the trees, sun, moon, even to some stones. Also, it is being referred to cleanliness, purity. Also, it is being referred to people who been doing good, and once they passed away, they were being developed as, recognized as divine beings. That's why most of the time people say that they have gone to heaven. When the loved ones being passed away, we believe that they gone to the heaven, where the divine beings are there. So those are general meanings of that. What are the characteristics of Devas according to Buddhist teachings? Devas has different characters. Some Devas being believed that they don't have a physical body. They only have the mind. But there is a kind of an argument into that, whether that mind itself is a body. But that is a different thing. Also, there are some characteristics of Devas. In some suttas, the discourses explain, in the environment of Devas, they were born kind of immediate manner. So they were not being born from mothers, neither being born in the water or temperature or from a shell, egg. They were just being born naturally, appeared. The word is called just they appeared in these realms. That's how they born. And their nature is very illuminating. They are very shining. They are happy and they live somewhat comfortable, greater state of being. That is the example. Normally, there are some discourses explain when as they appears, not born, as they appears in their world, their time is different to the human world time. For example, our 1 year could be just 1 minute to them. Our 100 years may be a 1 day to them. So the time is different, their appearance is different. Normally when they die, they don't experience in that world aging, sickness, and all these difficulties. That is why it is very hard for them to sometimes to understand the suffering. What happens is when they come to the closer of their departure, they started feeling little bit sad, and they see their flowers being withered away, and they started to smell some body natures. Otherwise they don't have anything. When those signs are there, they normally identify that they are going to depart. Then what happens is, some discourses says very interesting thing. All other deities comes and say to that person, you are going to the Sugati, which is mean higher place. So they descend from that existence into a Sugati. So what is this word? That word Sugati, or state of higher being, referred to the human world. So the deities call the divine place as human existence. Why that is being referred to the human existence? They can practice 5 important things. First one is called faith, saddha. Morality, the second one, sila. Sutta, they can listen to the Dhamma and learn the Dhamma, the teachings. Chaga, they can practice the generosity. They can develop the wisdom. Panya, those are called Seka Bala, enlightenment factors. So therefore, when they descend or depart from that existence, other devas assembles and say to that person, you are very lucky, you are going to the heaven, which is what they refer is a human existence. So that is their nature and their livelihood. We can't really see them in different forms. They exist in different forms. These different forms are being explained in the Buddhist teachings as 31 planes. That is the existence of 31 planes. Some people ask the questions about this karma or karma. This devas is being born into those higher existence because of their actions they have done. So when you do 10 wholesome actions, as a result, they are being born in those higher realms. According to their good karmas, the amount of karmas, these 31 planes of existence has mainly 4 levels. The first one is called the realms of existence, customarily divided into 3 distinctive worlds or lokas. The first division is called immaterial world. That is called Arupa Loka. And they have 4 realms. Those who are born in those Arupa Loka called immaterial world, most of them has attained higher jhanas, deep meditation levels. As they lead a life of that deep level of developed meditation life, they are being born into this immaterial world called Arupa Loka. And then second one is fine material world called Rupa Loka. There are 16 realms for that. And they have this refined complexion or degree of mental pleasure that they enjoy. And they suppressed hatred and ill will. The opposite of that is they have developed deep level of loving kindness or sublime, 4 sublime qualities. Therefore, they have this extremely refined bodies, kind of a pure light. Normally, those who enter into this fine material world called Rupa Loka, to access into that level, the basic qualification or the passport they need is to attain in the meditation state of non-returning. We call the third stage of awakening, Anagami. And those are the fine material world existence. Those immaterial and fine material world, Rupa Loka and Arupa Loka, we call Sagga, Swarga or heavens. Those are 20 in numbers. That means 12 panes of supreme deities. We call Brahma Loka, 20 of Brahma Lokas, which means supreme deities are living there. 4 of them who has been practicing deep meditations, and the 16 of them, they either attain non-returning state, the third stage of enlightenment. And the other one is called sensuous world, which is Kama Loka, that has 11 realms. And they experience both pleasure and otherwise. Also, they are being enjoying their 5 senses and dominated by sensual pleasures. 7 of those realms are 6 divine beings, and 1 is human existence. 4 of those existence called the lowest realms or 4 bad destinations, we call Satara Apaya. First one is called demons, Asura. The second one is called Peta, which hungry ghost. Third one is called Tirachana, which is animal realm. The last one is called hell, we call Niraya. So now we can understand, when we take out 5 realms, 4 lower realms, which is Satarapaya, and the human realm, the rest is about 7 is called divine existence. 6 of divine beings, Deva Loka, and 20 of them is called Brahma Loka, supreme deities. This is how the consistence of 31 planes, 20 of them Brahma Loka, 6 of them divine existence. The next one is human existence, which we are, where we are now. And below there are 4 that call 4 planes of deprivation or unhappy places, we call apaya. Those 431 realms, the 31, if I go from the 31, the 31st one is called neither perception nor non-perception. 30th one is nothingness, Devas. 29th is infinite consciousness. 28th is infinite space. The inhabitants of those realms are possessed entirely of the mind, having no physical body. They are unable to hear Dhamma teachings. The qualification they need to enter into that is to get the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and the 1st. Absorptions called jhana, deep meditation levels. Then there are Rupa Loka, fine materials. They are called peerless Devas, Akanita Deva, clear-sighted Devas, Sudassi Deva, beautiful Devas, Sudassa Deva, untroubled Devas, Atappa Deva, Devas not falling away, Aviha Deva, unconscious beings, Asanya Satta, very fruitful Devas, Vehappala Deva, Devas of refulgent glory, Subhakinnaka Deva, Devas of unbounded glory, Appamana Subhadeva, Devas of limited glory, Paritta Subhadeva, Devas of extreme radiance, Abhassara Deva, Devas of unbounded radiance, Appamana Deva, Devas of limited radiance, Parittaba Deva, great Brahmas, Maha Brahma, ministers of Brahma, Brahma Purohita, retinue of Brahma, Brahma Parisajja. So they come to the fine material world. So they are the 5 pure abodes we call Sudassava, which are accessible only to non-returners, Anagami or an Arahant. Beings who are non-returners in other planes are reborn here, where they attain eventually the Arahantship. Among its inhabitants is Brahma Sahampati. We may have heard this name, Brahma Sahampati, begs the Lord Buddha to teach the Dhamma. Those Brahma Sahampatis were in those realms. And also, one of these realms' most famous inhabitants is great Brahma, the deity whose delusion leads him to regard himself as the all-powerful, all-seen creator of the universe. This is where this great Brahma, the 14th existence, many people believe he is the creator. Even in the Hinduism, that they talk about a creator God. And according to Buddhist teaching, this 14th existence of Maha Brahma, great Brahma, is supposed to be the creator. But there are many gods, many deities, Brahmas, even above it, because of their time gap, because of their distance, because of their meritorial powers, they can't see someone higher than them. That is why they come to the conclusion, they think they are the whole world come from them. Beings in the planes of enjoying various degrees of divine bliss is in that fine material world. Then the existence we are in, called sensuous world, Kamaloka, happy destinations we call Sugati. In there, Devas wielding power over the creation of others. Paranimmita Vasavatti Deva. Devas delighting in the creation. Nimmanarati Deva. Contented Devas, Thusita Deva. You can see this Thusita Deva, a realm of pure delight and glory. Normally the Buddha to be, we call Bodhisattva, abide in those realms prior to their final human birth, before they come and become a human being and enlighten. Normally those Bodhisattvas, aspirant Buddhas born in Tusita heaven. This is where the Bodhisattva Maitreya, the next Buddha to come, where is also dwelling at the moment. Yama Devas, these Devas live in the air, free of all difficulties. Then the 33 gods, Tavatimsa Deva. Normally we were heard the Sakka Deva, one of the higher deities, and presides in this realm. Many Devas dwelling here live in mansions in the air. And Devas of the 4 great kings, Sataravaram, Chatu Maharajika Deva. Also, the next one is where we are human beings, and then there are 4 states of deprivation, which is we call apaya or lower realms. So we heard this Tavatimsa, which is 33 Devas being explained here, and those the head of that place is called Sakka. The interesting thing is that we can understand a person called Sakka was a human being like you and me, and he did so many good things, and it says about 7 good things. As a result, he became into this position. What are the 7 good things he did? Looking after parents for life. The second one, taking care of a spiritual community, Kula Devatavan Pidima. Third one, always speak the gentle, nice, sweet words. Never speak something to disunite people or community. And always practice generosity giving. Never tell lies. And finally, never get angry. So he had unconditional love, we call metta. He was doing lot of charitable works, we call Maga Manavaka. You can research the story. When he was doing lot of good activities, he was joined by some other 30 friends, good friends. They started doing all these good things, so they became very popular. Eventually, someone gave misinformation because of jealous to the king. Then king tried to kind of destroy these people, but they were not harmed because of their unconditional love, we call loving kindness, metta practice. As a result, they were being born in this Tavatimsa called contented Devas realm. The head of that is called Sakka. When he travels, he has a cart and he travels in there. He normally stands and worship. His driver, charioteer, was surprised and asked, "You are the highest in these realms. You stand and worship. What are you doing? Are there anyone higher than you?" Then this Sakka replied to this person, "There is an existence called human world. In that human world, there are people who practice 5 precepts, who practice generosity, who look after elders, who respect spiritual communities. To those good people, I pay my respect." So now we can come to the last part, how we can gain the benefits of the Devas, support or the blessings of the Devas. Many people sometimes do different things to get the benefits of the good Devas. Maybe they take a basket of fruit or light some 5-6 candles according to the some guidance from a agent. So there are some, there are places of gods, we call the temple or kovil or church. The priest there is called agent. Through that priest, you can communicate with the deities. So these priests explain different things, what they need, what the community need. When you do that, in fact, what you try to do is practicing generosity. By helping to the needy, that you acquire some merits, and that merits is being transferred or shared by the divine beings. They rejoice those who practice in uposatha. Uposatha means they practice higher morals. They rejoice the people who practice five precepts. Those who break the five precepts, they don't want to even see those people. So they run away. If you want to get the help of the Devas, you got to practice the morality we call Sila or Uposatha. They come and help. So that is the best way. And also to get the support from the Devas or divine beings in the Buddhist context is people who are doing a lot of merits, being born into higher realms. So they are in a much better off position to help the difficulties of the human beings. For example, in my life experience, I was having some problems in my life, as we all have. I was one day went into one of the place called Sri Ruwanveli Saya, the big pagoda in Sri Lanka, very powerful pagoda. And I was sitting and doing some chanting, and my mind was a bit tired because of the situation I was in. And somebody came while I was doing the meditation and chanting and said to me, "Are you okay?" I said, "I am all right." Then he said to me, "Don't worry about anything. Everything will be okay." So he walked away. I looked at him and I couldn't see any person. So likewise, there may be some, so you can't really explain those things. Somebody said to me that their parents were not feeling well. So in Sri Lankan temples, there are some places for some kind of local deities are there. And some beliefs, people believe certain gods are there. And they go and pray. They go and make some vows, make some request from those people. And they said that after as a result, they get some medical checkup and everything was cleared. Don't take this as just mere sake, because we are living in a scientific world. Therefore, don't either kind of refuse those things, because it has some. So the reason behind is here, when you develop yourself as good qualities, there are some powerful higher energies we call divine beings. They normally come and help. People who get angry will never get the support of it. Especially those who are developing loving kindness has the highest attraction. Those who practice the loving kindness, even the 11 benefits of metta anisansa, the benefits of loving kindness, discourse on benefits of loving kindness, been explained that very clearly. So there is another way that we can get this, eliminating conceit. This is also very important. People have this big ego. There is no way. They think that I know, I am the highest in understanding. We call conceit. They measure with other people all the time. And in Buddhism, it says those who have got higher ideology, ego, conceit, they would not get the support of the divine beings. Those who practice Buddhanusati meditation, recollection of qualities of the Buddha, have the highest support of the divine being. Finally, Devatanusati, there is a meditation called recollection on the qualities of the Devas. How do we do that meditation? We contemplate that Devas are being born by practicing 5 things. What are those 5 things? Faith, saddha. Second, morality, sila. Third, sutta, listening and studying the teachings of the Buddha. Chaga, practicing generosity. and developing, cultivating wisdom, which means understanding the Four Noble Truths, cause and effect theory, three universal characteristics, impermanent, unsatisfactoriness, and selfless nature. Those are called Sekabala, divine enlightenment factors. By practicing those things, Devas being born into those realms. When we do the Devanusati, recollection on divine qualities meditation, we think of their capabilities in faith, morality, Dhamma learning, generosity, and wisdom. And we practice those 5 qualities, and that is called Devatanusati, the recollection of meditation on divine beings. And the final thing that you can get the support of the Devas by practicing 10 wholesome qualities. What are those 10 wholesome qualities? Abstaining from killing, abstaining from stealing, abstaining from sensual misconduct, abstaining from false speech, abstaining from malicious or slanderous speech, abstaining from harsh speech, abstaining from gossip or idle chatter. Number 8, it called coveting. What is coveting? That you have a deep greed, which means yearning to possess something, especially something belong to someone else. So you have to get rid of those abhijja. That means that coveting, that strong desire to possess things that someone else has. Many people do that. They always try to do not want to earn themselves. They try to take what some other people has, which is a hindrance or quality that it will hinder to get the support of the higher blessings. Number 9, abstaining from ill will. That means this anger, the hatred, furious nature, you will never get the support of the divine blessings. And finally, Samma Ditti, practicing right understanding, is the 10th of the wholesome actions, Dasa Kusala, to relate into the divine beings. With that, our topic today is how does a Buddhist gain the protection and blessings from the Devas. Here, Satta Deva Manussanam, even qualities of the Buddha explained. He is a teacher to divine as well as humans. And he mentioned in the Mettanisansa Sutta the benefits of loving kindness discourse. Also Metta Sutta, the loving kindness discourse. Atanatya Sutta, also Mahasamaya Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, and many suttas. There is a one section called Devata Anusati, Devata Sangyukta. So many references to that. Even one of his time slot were being reserved to communicate and discuss with the Devas in his timetable. Then daily timetable, he has been reserved 2 hours to communicate with the teachers. So this will open up a lot of questions for you, I hope. I would like to really go into the discussion and conversation, and you can ask many questions from this very learned eminent Buddhist monks are here at the temple. So thank you for listening, and be with us on this Daham Sisila program. Today we have the 24th program, and may those merits be with you all, and may those merits be with our temple to last long, to benefit for our community, and also to develop our spiritual. This is a great opportunity. That opportunities doesn't come out of the blue. I think we have the right blessing of Devas, because they rejoice when we practice good. They would not be happy when you just stay at home, look after the family, go to work and eat and sleep. They would be happy to see that you are doing some practice in spirituality as well. When they are happy, they will return you to good age, longevity, abstaining from all illnesses. There is a belief that I believe so much that when you are in trouble, illnesses, difficulties, you can get the help, but only if you are fierce. devout person who genuinely and sincerely practice something. With that note, may those blessings be with our Devas. May they rejoice in our merits and return their blessings to all of us and to our temple, to our community, to our most venerable monks. May you all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
That was a wonderful description, Hamdurne, and I think answered, certainly cleared several of my personal queries. There is a question I'd like to put forward, and this comes from Anagi De Silva, and this was a lady who sponsored our earlier sessions. May I ask how we know if what we do to please the Devas, the gods, are received favorably? And should we be asking the gods for things? So 2 parts to that question.
Yes, I mentioned about practicing uposatha, morality, good work, 10 wholesome things, eliminating conceit, mana, practicing Buddhanusati, Devanusati. Of course, in Buddhism, we are not encouraged to ask anything. You know, even to monks, Buddha said, don't ask anything. But if they are happy to offer, accept it. And if the good people like Devas, they want merits, they want good energies, how they earn it by giving it somebody. Of course, we are not asking it, and we don't even encourage our children to demand parents' possessions, parents' things. If they are happy, they would have to demand it, they would give it. So my answer for that, in short, we don't ask it, but when you are practicing good, to support and strengthen your journey, to make you do more good, of course they come and help. Let me give our chance to our Hamudro to give a little more light into that.
Now, with regard to this very elaborative expression, I would like to add that in our traditions, we don't talk much about the guardian angels. Here, when we refer to the Devas as different from the Creator God, the Creator God is a big G. The simple deities that we say Devas are gods. It's always in plural, not singular. So that difference we should keep in mind when we deal with these subjects. Buddhism doesn't believe in a creator God. That is this capital G-O-D. The simple G-O-D-S we believe. We believe in 6 heavens where the normal Devas are apart from the Brahma worlds, and that Devas around us, particularly the help that we can get at time of distress and help from certain Devas is true. I also have experiences, but I'm not going to relate my personal experience I have encountered since 56 years ago. But what I want to say is this much only on this point. There are guardian angels, your late grandfather, grandmother, and some ancestors who have been working for you for many generations, in many lives. And these guardian angels who are related to you or who knew you, they also come and help you when you have a problem which you cannot be solved by yourself. So these devas are deities like angels. Buddhism believes these deities exist, that heavens are there, but there is no creator God. That's the only difference. You need to make that discriminative difference between the major creator God and the heavens. The God idea, as already mentioned by Reverend Samitha Thero, is a problem of Mahabrahma's illusion because he's been there too long. He has not become fully wise and become enlightened. Don't forget that. His stage could be Anagami, a non-returner to the world, but he still have another step to go forward. Devas are there, they can protect us. But let me tell this point also. We should not ask favors like in Christian or Hindu tradition from the Devas and pray to the Devas. We can only transfer merits to them, and they rejoice in our transferring of merits, because the energy, the food they get is what we transfer to them as merits. They sustain on those things and what they have already got from their previous life. When their time is up, they go. Where they go, we don't know. Could be here, could be to Brahma worlds. There is no tactical succession of a person's appearing and disappearing somewhere that can be explained. It's an experience, extraterritorial experience, and extrasensory perception. So if we keep ourselves to that limit and not to expand too much on this mystification, our problems become less.
I think that answers very well our question. Hello, may I ask how we know if we do to please the gods are received favorable, and should we be asking the gods for things? So that was well answered, I think.
Yes, I think so too. Thank you, Bhante. All Bhantes for that very lucid explanation. I cannot see any other questions on the chat session. If you have any questions, please put them now. It will probably be equally easier if you just unmute and ask the question verbally.
There's another question from Selvi.
Shall we please go ahead and put the questions to the Venerable Bhantes. I wasn't sure whether this was a question or a comment. Shall we says, I saw Buddha one day when I had a maladaptation due to sensitivity. I was told to study evolution and Marxism. What do you think about it? I think, yes, I took that as a comment first. If you have a specific question about the Devas, please go ahead. Because I think to go into a related but a different topic would take considerable time, I'm afraid. Well, if I may, with your permission, Hamdune, try to summarize what I understood about the both Deshanas, all the comments and Dharma Deshana today, is that so our topic was how does a Buddhist gain protection and blessings from Devas? So බෞද්ධයාට දෙවියන්ගේ රැකවරණය හා ආරක්ෂාව ලැබෙන කෙසේද? I think my understanding, and how I might like Hamdru's comments if you have any, is that මම මේක සිංහලෙන්ම කිව්වොත් පහසුයි කියලා හිතනවා. I hope everybody understands. අපි දෙවියන්ගේ රැකවරණය ආරක්ෂාව අපිට අවශ්‍ය නම් අපි දෙවියන්ගේ ගති විශේෂ දේව ගති කියලා තියෙන දෙවියන්ගේ ගති ගුණ කියන්නේ දෙවියෝ බොහොම කරුණාවන්තයි, බොහොම මේ සීලවන්තයි, ගුණවන්තයි, ඒ බොහොම ගුණධර්ම රාශියක් තියෙනවා දෙවිවරුන්ගේ. එහෙම කරපු අය තමයි දිව්‍ය ලෝකෙ ඉපදින්නේ. ඉතින් මං හිතන මට තේරුම් ගියේ අපේ ධර්ම දේශනාවලින් ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේලාගේ ඒ දේව ගති අපිත් පුරුදු කරන්න පටන් ගත්තොත් පොඩ හරි මේ ඒ කියන්නේ මෛත්‍රිය, කරුණාව, ත්‍යාගශීලී බව, එතනින් ගියාම මේ අනිත් ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේලා කියපු අනිත් බොහොම කාරණා, ඒ දේව ගති අපි පුරුදු කරාම අපිට දෙවියන්ගේ රැකවරණය ලැබෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ දෙවියන්ගේ දැන් වගේ ගතියක් ඒගොල්ලොන්ට පේනවා, මෙයත් අපේ කෙනෙක් වගේ වෙන්න හදනවා. ඒ වගේ ගතියක් ඒගොල්ලෝ දෙවිවරු කතා කරනවා ඇති. අහවලා දෙවි කෙනෙක් වගේ හැසිරෙනවා. එතකොට ඒ ඉබේටම ඒගොල්ලොන්ට අපේ කෙනෙක් වගේ කියලා නිකන් මේ රැකවරණයක් බැල්මක් ලැබෙනවා ඇති. හාමුදුරනේ ඒක හරි අදහසක්ද?
I don't think that is proper to think in that format, because this protection by the Devas is not always happening every time for everybody who expects that, but it happens automatically to different individuals, and there are many cases also. We cannot say not at all. We should leave it to those extraterrestrial beings who wants to help people, and we cannot demand and ask for certain help. That is not the Buddhist form. That is called the prayer. That is why we don't pray, we worship, we venerate. The system of our dealing with our devas, deities, angels is different from the normal way of thinking of the Christians or the normal English way of understanding. It is not automatic that the devas are what you call obligated to come and protect us. They protect us for our actions when we are at that phase, or our guardian angels do out of compassion to us. So we have to keep the limits on the extrasensory matters rather than making it a technical one. It's not a technical answer to that problem.
Thank you, Bhante.
I hope you understood that part. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bhante. I was, with respect, commenting more on our Venerable Sila Sumana Hamdhuru's advice that we develop the Deva Gati, which is the Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha, those things. And when somebody has developed those things, we may appeal more to Devas or not necessarily look at us, but that was a way to get the protection. So that is was my understanding.
That is not the Deva Gati actually. They are the qualities of the Maha Brahma. That's why it's called Brahma Vihara. And because of those qualities, the Buddha have applied that to parents. So it is best to respect your parents at home who are your real creators, because they have these qualities. And you can be protected by that, because when you follow the Dhamma is the greatest protection, which people forget, and they look for external beings, the personality, a personality cult, a figure. This is the problem. The problem is you are looking at figures, but not the Dharma. Dhammo have rakkati dhammachari. One who follows the Dhamma will be protected by the Dhamma. This is more important than the Deva's help.
So the definition, the word Deva can also explain into human beings. So the human beings with low qualities, they are called animosity. They use the word animosity. When the human beings have more higher qualities, they call kind of divine qualities. What you mentioned is that I think that of course they can have that kind of etymology, word reference to that. And also, even once the Dalai Lama and a lot of Buddhist scholars, even our Reverend Dr. Sumana Sinnayakaro mentioned that in Buddhism, we don't believe the God, but we believe the godliness. So we are not believing the God, but we do believe the godliness, godly qualities. So that can have in the human lives.
Thank you very much, Bhante. So thank you all, Bhantes, for a very meaningful discussion there. And to since we do not have Anumodana today, Hamdhuru might just do a brief Anumodana to everybody.
Sisters and brothers in the Dhamma, evagema Thiruvan saranai pingatuni, ada me avasthave api ping anumodan karamu. Let us now share these merits of preaching the Dhamma, getting engaged in our thoughts and in our words, and physically from our own movements, and entering into discussion, which is a great blessing. Listening to the Dhamma is one blessing. Discussion of Dhamma is another blessing. And to come to the conclusion and enrich ourselves is one of the greatest blessings, in fact. So therefore, may these high energies which has empowered us by the Dhamma that we have shared with each and everyone, those who are near and far away, who are seen and unseen, including the divine beings, share with them, and may they accept this and be well and happy. May our departed ones share these merits and be well and happy. May those protective guardian angels, Devas, who are known to us and others, be well and happy. And finally, by doing all these good actions, may all of us come to the supreme happiness of Nibbana, where there is no more death and there is no more birth, but everlasting bliss. Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Now we
sadhu.
are making a short blessing. Abhivadana silissa niccang vaddapachayino chattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti Vinate samijjatu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. එහෙනම් අපිට දැන් ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේලා වන්දින ගාථාව කියමු. ඕකාස වන්දාමි භන්තේ මයා කතං පුඤ්ඤං සාමිනා අනුමෝදිතබ්බං Samina katang punyang maihang databang Okasa dwarattena katang sabbhang Achayang kamatame bhante Dutiyampi okasa kamami bhante Tatiyampi okasa kamami bhante